Welcome to today's session of Viewer Levels. We are going to go straight into the queue today since we have a few entries in already from Glitch and Merlin and Luca. And so we'll just bypass the usual opening warm-up and pull up what we can, and hopefully things get working right away. So do let me know, as always, if things do not quite function as intended. But let's get to it. And Merlin, you're currently building a new world? Yeah, it seemed like you may have quite a lot coming. And hopefully the building is going well. And Slowdive, welcome. So yeah, not sure how long I'll be able to stay for this session. We'll hopefully get as many in as we can without too much in the way of early cutoffs or interruptions. Now, Glitch, I think we had said before that we'll mostly pass on the Gunhead levels for now, since they are revised editions of levels I'd played before. And we'll just go on a little further down the list, perhaps, to something we haven't done. Tetris Climb seems like it is built for multiplayer, but if it is single-friendly, then I can certainly take a look at this if it's still an interesting single-player route. It can be done single? Yeah, let's do it. This is from May 2020, just a simple climb up falling to Trominos, as we can see from the preview screen in the thumbnail. And yeah, that's Tetris for you. I'm of course looking at the screen on the right side, just thinking about... Oh, I guess each of the Tetrominos actually is coded by block, so that's something important to keep in mind, perhaps. So yeah, given that this is multiplayer, we can take any pipe and just die immediately to wind. Yeah, I don't know if there's a particular advantage to taking the question blocks out here, but obviously Super Mario World wind is going to go in either direction, and also will leave me a little bit of an opportunity in between to continue ascending. It's probably possible to do this quite a bit more efficiently, but instead of doing that, we'll just try to hug one piece at a time and not take too many risks here. I said not take too many risks here. Okay, that could get a little bit touchy. As we struggle a bit on the ice here. Yeah, I can definitely see why this would be interesting as a multiplayer versus race, actually. Because it does kind of have in the single-player experience a bit of that getting over it flavor. Of just trying to stay alive and not lose too much progress at a time. You put the Tetris piece like that to annoy people. I'm trying to think about which piece you meant. Oh, probably just the eye block that obviously missed. The eye block made of ice blocks that was dropped rather incorrectly. Hang on. Let's see if we can make something happen here. Gotta be quite careful about the wind direction. Yeah, I know which block you mean in the start screen now. Just so close to something satisfying there. For people who visualize that 4-line Tetris line clear. Hang on here. Okay. Further up. Nope. Not quite. This isn't even the only Tetris platforming level that I've seen recently that I've had a little bit of trouble with. I don't think it particularly matters which segment I go into, if each of the versus segments are laid out in an identical fashion, as looks to be the case, at least with these two that we see in this screen so far. Whoops. Yeah, don't want to take any chances with a win there. I don't think going up the right side is really that advisable in the first place, so... Yeah, I guess maybe there would be a bit of a mad scramble to pick the closest pipe at the start, but I think the advantages do even out over time. I mean, I don't really play Versus, so I don't really have a good understanding of how mechanics like the wind are synchronized between players. I guess it would be based on the entry point of the first person to enter the zone. And Merlin, you've got to work at 8 in the morning today. Yeah, hopefully we'll get yours out of the way quickly and get your day started correctly before you have to head off to do other things. Nope, still running into issues. And up we go. Okay, not quite. Yeah, the ice can quite easily throw you off here if you're not careful. Whoops. Yeah, I thought that when the wind stopped I could just reposition myself easily, but then I do have to account for the ice still. Because of the combination of the wind effect and the ice effect. It can be a bit more troublesome than it looks. Especially when the wind lets up and you just kind of slingshot into place with the momentum you have at the start. Whoops. Some of the jumping accuracy here, of course, could use a little work on my side, but that's what happens when we're just getting started after a couple of days off this game. Whoops. Yeah, I keep thinking I can make that. I usually can with dashing speed, but then we run into a little bit of trouble in the next series of jumps here. Nope. It's always estimating when the wind releases that gets me into trouble. I do want to generally be nudging another block for that, just to make sure I've got some control over where I'm going when the wind does shift. Okay, there we go. New record. Whoa, no. Yeah, it's surprisingly tricky considering how simple the layout is. Of course, as with Tetris proper, it looks like the blocks are coming in a sequence that draws the 7 types of pieces in a unique order before any kind of repetition. Oh, maybe. I didn't see the T block down below until this point here, but whatever works to make this layout platform friendly. Yeah, once you get up to this denser part here, it actually seems a bit more manageable. And there you go. Oh, thank you for that glitch. Let's take a look at what Merlin has for us today. You'd like me to pick the newest one? Yeah, we can do that. Okay, there are 3 big coins. We'll look out for that. And as usual, a secret M to discover somewhere. So we'll take a look at 2-2, Pyramid Oasis Valley. Look out for the traps in the old pyramids. For the rest, enjoy the oasis. And yeah, Merlin, we're pretty used to some of your trademarks of traditional design at this point, so we'll definitely keep an eye out for all of those bonuses if we can. Looks like it is an oasis because the platforms here are representing the water. Look at how long the spike ball just stops at the top of the gentle slope before it continues down. It stalls there for ages. Look at that. Anyway, we'll let this guy try to pop these blocks here. Chest for the coins. We'll traverse our way up some pyramids. Yellow pipe looks conspicuously like it connects somewhere. Yes, it does. And there's the 10 coin. And of course you have some plant life here that is able to grow given the water supply. And yeah, Luca, we've played lots of Merlin levels in the past before, and they're usually quite a visual treat for sure when it comes to the visuals and decoration. Yeah, this looks like another pyramid, or implied pyramid, that's starting to crumble a bit. We might as well check some pipes here. I don't think it's anything, though. I guess we'll head over here instead. Nope, lost it already. Okay, this will bust all the way through, however, we want to look at a 30 coin first before anything else happens. And before we head down to the checkpoint, but looks like that is all we'll be seeing over here, so let's head back. Interesting. Oh, yeah, this is just all the symmetrical decoration around the entrance. Yeah, interesting use of the tracks here, just as a bit of a texturing element to make it look like there are some hieroglyphs, perhaps, scrawled on the pyramid. Just enough time to dodge that. So we've got a 10 coin and 30 coin so far. So we think that as far as the hidden M is concerned, that maybe we should be looking at the tracks a little more closely. Whoa, okay. It's got whacked. Okay, it looks like there is a... It's sort of interesting that you have the red state blocks as well. I wonder if that's going to do anything, but we'll pop this and... Yeah, in general, I'm just paying attention to what could potentially be broken by spike balls, given more time. Ah, interesting. Straight into the question block. Now, the idea here seems to be to go for the POW. Going for the POW would allow me to get rid of the Thwomp. That would allow me to do a few things, perhaps. Ah, okay. Interesting. I wonder what this accomplishes, then. Because you can do that, but... Oh, I see. It unblocks the pipe. Yeah, I should have predicted that. Because I was thinking if you unblock the Thwomp, you still can't get to the pipe, and then... It looks very much like on the right side here that this is also breakable. I kind of want to drop another spike ball just to see. I don't know if I'll be able to. Let's see here. Bird Dog, welcome. Let's try to drop another one. That won't crash against the side. Let's see if it opens up the right side for me. It doesn't quite go far enough, unfortunately. And yeah, Bird Dog, everything's fine over here. And just release this guy. Let everything get tapped open. Yeah, and here's the M. Probably can hit something here. And we'll get chased out. And back out of the pyramid we go. So I didn't see the 50 coin, did I? This is a heart. And Mang Mangy. Welcome. And yeah, Glitch, thank you for letting me know about the audio. I'm not sure if Mang Mangy is just a new account or if the Der Yogurt Hose name has in fact been retired. Ah, okay, so we do need spike balls over here. Yeah, we can do that. Let's grab the 50 coin for completion. Whoops. And Mang Mangy predictably is, in fact, Mang Mang 69, though the letter Y designates number 69 for all I know. Anyway, thanks for that, Merlin. Glad we could see everything. I was actually wondering if the M would be something really hidden, but then it looks like it's right along the main path. As long as you're paying attention. Yeah, really nice looking level. Great sense of place, as always. I did get whacked on the head by the spiked balls a few times, but that actually is avoidable if you're paying attention. It does give you enough time to react. I just tended to stand right under them, and usually you give power-ups at those locations generously enough that I think even if players do get hit, at least it's not something that spikes them out of nowhere and ends the run. Luga. Would I be up, Glitch, for breaking a new level of yours? Yes, when I get to you, we can do that. Whoops. And yeah, as you know, I am perfectly willing to use viewer levels to be running beta tests of things that are still incomplete and still have temporary shortcuts and all that. gas, gas, gas. Gotta go fast in Slingshot Skyway. Right, this is the 3D World one that you were mentioning earlier this week. Looking forward to it. I don't really remember what you said about it, except that it does involve bullies at some point, or some other momentum trickery. Anyway, let's ride the Thwomp. Whoops. Thwomp hits the POW, and then I long jump over, yeah. Ah, right, okay. No, I remember this mechanic now. Roughly. Yeah, I playtested an early version, now I recognize it, yeah, because of the Thwomp momentum. And I do recognize it. I do recognize it partly because I died to some of the same stuff in an earlier version. But that's understandable, and then of course this lets you scout ahead to see what's coming. It's too bad the freeze frame is so brief, but we do what we can with it. Yeah, so I guess you are supposed to smack into that with the long jump designated by the arrow, and then fall into B and continue. Yeah, so in some ways it's quite different from the version I tested before. Otherwise I would have remembered this part with the B, but looks like the double arrow indicates to me that I need to build up a little more speed and long jump at the end of that sequence instead. These Thwomps are hiding a dirty secret. Yes, they are. Of course they are. That's what they do. Okay, up we go. Yeah, long jump there, fall into the B, long jump again. That all works out if you do, in fact. Not bother to read all these suggestions. And yeah, that positioning was just a little bit off. I was long jumping off the middle of the Thwomp a little bit early and too far to the left. There's time to build up a little bit of forward momentum going into that. When you do that long jump with the double arrows at the end. And still a little bit off, but almost at the number 2. Yeah, trying to take that to the edge now, and it's not quite working out. These Thwomps are hiding a dirty secret. I can see that they're placed over P-switches in their initial locations. That looks awfully suspicious. There we go. Let's scout ahead and see what this will tell me. Again, some other long jumps and crashes. Right, pulled back a little bit too much on that. I can bop that and probably even get back onto the Thwomp. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Not quite a good jump angle there, but we can get back there and fix that. It's mostly going a little more smoothly. A little bit late hitting the long jump there. As you can see, I just didn't jump at all by the time I hit the spike. But it was very clear to me what to do. I was trying to get the second consecutive long jump so I could fall back onto the thwomp in the correct position afterwards. And Merlin, you have to get going. Yeah, have a good day despite having to work today. And I'm glad we got yours in quickly. Interesting thing that is that I don't need to pull back in any of the jumps. Yeah, I sometimes just have a bit of a bad habit of doing so. If I'm seeing something for the first time. But yeah, in general, I think my problem is generally not going far enough rather than going too far. I tried a long jump once again, and that was also late. Okay, here we are. Not enough forward momentum. I was kind of going back and forth a bit on the thwomp, and that was not a great idea. And yeah, I just didn't have good forward momentum as I was getting off of the thwomp, since I was still adjusting a little bit to reposition myself. Probably adjusting too much. Just need to get onto the right half of the thwomp and trust that it's going to give me enough distance to build momentum into the next jump. Yeah, because my habit is to kind of correct and go left on the thwomp to give myself more space. That is getting me into a bit of trouble here. And again, late. Okay, down we go. Not quite. Yeah, and that's why I'm often tempted to back up a bit on the thwomp to give myself a bit more running distance. Sometimes it seems to work out well, other times that's not the best idea. Like here, that barely made it. There we go, checkpoints. Nothing to check up here, so let's continue. Now what's behind number 3? Okay, it's going to be bullies after crashing into the question blocks with some long jumps. Right, because I need to go straight up and bounce off the second bully. Of course, to do that, we need to get back to the bully first. As I think we observed last time, 100 seconds here, mostly just to intensify the music, I think, given that it's checkpointed and the time limit doesn't matter too much. Oops. Need to actually enter the pipe, that would be helpful. Yeah, interesting skip squeak placement there. I mean, I guess that's going to constrain your bounce timing in a bit. That kind of motivates you to use the second bully to bounce over, otherwise you Might just run into the skip squeak on your way to the right. Okay. And as we've seen, we can actually get into the pipe, but... Okay, I was hoping to sway to the right and jump on the end immediately, but clearly that didn't quite go as intended. Okay, nice momentum coming out of that. Interesting 5 and 6 here. Yeah, often in the span of the freeze frame, I don't really have time to process and understand everything happening. It's telling me to go down, obviously that means we'll go forward. Just to try to decide what is the bonus path and what is main path. Okay, we'll try to do this first. Looks like there is a bit of back and forth where I have to bounce in that bully into the lower level. Interesting. Down is the bonus, as they are showing you 5 and 6. Okay. Pipe is the flag. Okay. Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. But then maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to the freeze frames here. Well, that doesn't tell you that anyway, so... Yeah, I find that often reading ahead just doesn't help me anyway. I just don't have enough time to look at it and understand where it is placed. But at least it does give you some sense of the obstacles that are coming. Yeah, I'm supposed to get bounced off the side of that bully and do a bit of a triple bounce that rebounds me over to the dash panel on the bottom. It seems to be something that does require a fairly precise interaction. So we'll see if I can make that happen. Okay, very nice actually. I'm surprised that worked out as well as it did, given that I was kind of playing that on impulse. Yeah, once you get the side bounce off the bully, everything else flows together. It's just aiming for the bullies to begin with that causes the most trouble. That looks like an exclamation. Or a GG. Yeah, the long jumps are easy to react to once you get the sideways bully bounce. That's the main thing that's challenging. Oh, I should have just stood on top of the thwomp and not messed with that. Oh, whoops, should have held the jump into the B as well. Nope. You need to lean right a little bit into that first bully bounce so we can hit the next one accurately. Okay. Try this again. No, once again, just missed a high bounce. That should be easy to fix. Needed to be a little bit faster and snappier on all of that. Yeah, my jump timing may be a little bit off today. Everything seems to be either a little behind or slow. Not a latency thing, just a reaction time issue. Yeah, something about the way I'm entering that isn't quite working out, but we'll see if I can trigger that as consistently as I did earlier. That was a little bit late. I stalled a bit going into that, and I could tell that I was behind pace. That the Thwomp would die a little bit too soon. There was a bit of extra time that was added that wound up throwing me off. Nope, just missed a long jump there. Everything else was fine. There we go. Now, this time, let's actually ride everything forward instead of getting much too fancy. I see that a red pipe spits you out to the flag, but it does give you a chance to return and continue if you want to do more of the levels, so works out pretty well. Thank you for that, Luca. Okay, back to Glitch. You said you wanted me to playtest something new or in development. That's fine. Uploading now? Yeah, sure. TT2. Let's give it a test. Okay, looks like we have a lower level here. You said green doors are decorative. Okay. Obviously, we'll check this first. Nothing, so let's head down. Right, because I guess these are just a match for now. Ah, okay. No, as a bit of a quick developer shortcut. Quick uploads. Interesting how you have that mushroom and spiny hat stack going. That's... Oh, that's placed right over the checkpoint as well. That's interesting. So they're testing doors, yeah, for fudging the on-off switch and so on. We'll ignore that. Okay, it looks like we have to go up top to drop into the checkpoint, and indeed, that would be after another blue pipe, so... sure, let's go left first. Whoa, that's dangerous. And should we be ignoring all of the green doors, or is this... Okay. Or is that actually part of the flow? Inside? Okay. That's fine. Because it looked like this is part of the actual progression. Let's not get crushed by that. That would be a bad idea. Interestingly enough, looks like we could potentially sneak up there, maybe. It doesn't really take me any further, though, so I guess that's a no. P-switch, interesting. P-switch gives me a platform there. Now, why would I want that? Ah, I see. Because then you can unlock each of these routes while they are still in coin form. Now, it looks like I do need a reset in order to get the P-switch back, if I'm understanding this correctly. And NSM player, welcome. And thank you for adding your code. We'll hopefully get to you soon. And so yeah, the player does need to reload the P-switch. Okay, we unlocked this one. Let's... Not that. Okay, probably we need to pop open the middle at the very least. I'm not sure if there's a particular reason that you have the P as a one-time thing here rather than a P dispenser, given that I will just need to reset anyway. Okay, that could have gone badly, but we've got it. Ah, okay, mushroom. To about 90 seconds at this point. Feels oddly like some of those SMP2 Phanto climbs. Except without Phanto. Yeah, the timer may just be on the default. I'm not exactly attentive to that, but notice that there is a brick that's over the bullets. Seems important. So this is breakable, gives you another door. Notice that I think that these guys looks like it's supposed to be synchronized, but that you have them off due to the camera scroll, making things behave a little bit differently, so. And Luca, you think I've played all your levels? I can go back and check after I'm finished with this. Just to see whether there is anything else that you can submit to me. Oops. Seems like Fire Flower would be important to something here, but you do in fact need to survive with the mushroom to go down there and probably the Fire Flower to get all the way down. And Nukaza, welcome. Thank you for the latest P-Balloon extravaganza. And yeah, as you can see, these are supposed to spawn together. When you go back and forth, they don't do that so well. Whoops. Yeah, so pretty clear that you do need a mushroom progression off the left side first before anything else happens. That felt surprisingly safe. Now let's wait for these to spread just to buy myself some extra time if I can. And that's okay so far. Probably do need to keep the mushroom all the way up though. Okay. Go. Nope, losing the mushroom all the way here, unfortunately. Does lead to some issues, but at least the coins in the other room should stay down. Since they have been collected, and so getting back to the mushroom should not be too much of an issue. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize I could just pop it like that. Yeah, this is your take on a Metroidvania style level. If so, one of the things I would recommend is a way to preserve your progress. Like if you come out of the room that has the mushroom fairly quickly, you don't want the player to be going back there too many times, so you'd want something breakable that would continue to give you mushroom access in the next room. So if you are off the path to unlocking further rooms by accidentally losing a power-up, you don't need to walk all the way back to the initial point where you obtained it. You did that in one other section, I see. Bad idea on my part. Yeah, very clear that I need to do something later with the ice blocks using a fire flower. But we'll deal with that when we get to it. Okay, got that. Nope. Now, if we keep the mushroom on my way out, we'll be in good shape to progress where I was previously. Yeah, that strikes me as a little strange. Getting rid of the blasters like that, but I'll take it. Make some things easier, I suppose. Especially if breaking the upper bricks does anything. Now, clearly I do need to go for a flower next. Just wait this out a little bit. This should drop flowers, I think. Oh no, helmet. That's fun too. Spiny hat could be quite useful, in fact. Would it be better to have it be central or have more spots with it? Oh, in terms of a power-up refresh? Well, as long as it's easy to progress in each successive room, like you... Oh, first of all, let's try this pipe too. Nope, nothing. Notice how I can continue up here now. Important. And the one up thanks me for trying it. Well, given you that you've got a few sources of damage here, I think when you get back into the main hub, the sooner you can continue your power-up progress, the better. Like, you'd want it in a safe location that's fairly easy to reach once you progress that far. Whoops. Otherwise, you wind up like this. And as you can see, no spiny hat. I can't break through. I've got a long run back. Okay. Some things will have been cleaned up this time, though, hopefully. So now I'm in a state of being small but with a spiny head. That is hopefully something that has been accounted for in the level design. And Indignation Judgment, yeah, we'll get to 56 in just a moment. Let me just get a little bit further in this one first. Oh, I should have taken the mushroom there, okay. That might have been important. And go for the checkpoint. Ah, yes, because Spiny Hat would give me a checkpoint. Which would then give me another Spiny Hat. Well, let's see if I can do it. Plenty of seconds, plenty of time. And yeah, that's how you preserve this power-up progress. Notice that it doesn't preserve mushroom. However, you can go up the left side. Yeah, notice that I can do something with the seesaw on either side. Would I want to? That's the question. Okay. Getting up there fairly gracefully and allows me to have access to the fire flower. Now we should be in business. Assuming I'm careful enough not to lose the fire flower right away. Oh. Need a P-switch on this attempt. You shouldn't have to repeat sections, okay. Wasn't aware of that. We'll be looking for something else here then. It's a Spiny Hat. Oh, lost a fire flower. Ah, yes, I see the ice blocks down below now. Should have been where I went in the first place. Now, here's the issue, is that if I start at checkpoint and I lose the Spiny Hat, the most efficient way to get back to the Spiny Hat actually is to take a death. There's no real way to unlock it without doing the whole unlock sequence again, like you did in the way to this point in the level. And yeah, you could always break this, of course. But somebody eager to continue isn't necessarily going to think about that, I guess. check the left side. Whoops, nope. Yeah, let's just take the death. Look at Morton just coasting down below. You don't know a way around that? I could think of a way around that. Where instead of using one-way panels, you can have it so that out of the checkpoint slot, and I know this kind of breaks it aesthetically, but you could, for example, put hard blocks here such that you need to break hard blocks in order to get out of checkpoint, and that allows you to open up a way to get back to that spiny dispenser, while guaranteeing that somebody who has come here for the first time is not able to do that yet. So the idea is that you break out of the checkpoint and create an opening to go back to it. Oh, whoops. And yeah, that's what a playtest is for. And yeah, your first time making a level like this, that's exactly why we got to expose the issues we can. So you have a general sense of what to look out for. And we'll work our way up to the flower. And all the way back down. And yeah, downstairs is where the ice is going to be broken. Melted. Assuming I don't just lose everything right away. No, that's an issue. Yeah, once again, better to just start this segment over. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're building this format, that seems to be the main recommendation I have so far, is just to make it easier to preserve progress. Because people will get accidentally hit by things all the time, so... There we go. And what was I even doing here? Ah, yes, I wanted to break the ice down below. May as well wait for the skewer to do its job. No, I wanted to duck out of that, and I was just too late. I wanted to get off of this platform too, and I haven't been able to slide off of it very accurately. Nope, I have to redo all this. We'll just head up to the flower once again. And, oh. That's okay, we know where to get one. Oh, we know where to get one of those too, I hope. Didn't seem like they're coming out of dispensers. Ah, yes, they are. Out of the red pipes. Whoops. Okay. We go, and then same idea on the left. Nope. Poor timing. And address May HC. Welcome back. Hopefully we'll get to Snowman 10-second speedrun soon enough. And up we go. Back down, and once again we'll just try to survive long enough to get our immediate objectives taken care of. Yeah, downstairs for Fireflower. Actually, going down like this, taking advantage of the Spiny Hat collision, not a bad idea. Yeah, I think that this blade here needs to give me a little more room. The timing doesn't work well with the skewer timing. I think the window created by those two in combination is a little bit narrow. Okay, let's do this whole sequence again just to clean that up a bit. Down and around. Nope. That's okay. We can deal with it. Did we get anything? Yes, big mushroom. That big mushroom's gonna pop some of this stuff. Get 1-ups. And losing the big mushroom almost immediately. Did it get to you at least? We can continue cutting down, actually. Indeed, trying to drop icicles on top of Morton here looks like will be the idea. There we go. If I recall, the key door was all the way at the start. Nope. Hope I needed that. And yes, of course it's blocked off by on-off switches where you need to hit the on-off switch here with the big mushroom in order to continue all the way back. Let's not die to anything before I've had the opportunity to try that. Here we are. And that allows me to take this. Okay, interesting that there's another key door awaiting us. Okay, no, that's just a way to get here from start. I do see that. So, you can toggle the switches from on to off, but not the other way. Let's see if we can work around a burner pattern. it's an issue with the on-offs. Okay. I don't see what the issue could be other than that. Oh, I see. That's Morton is actually in this area and on top. Here we go. All this. Okay. Let's try this again. Nope, not here. So on-off can be disabled. Now, why would this be constraining me? It's not very clear to me until I died to it the first time that the tracks denote blocks, but at least with the helmet, I can take a bit of a hit. Top. Ah, I see. He's going to reset that. Now, I don't know what to do with Morton. Seems way out of range of anything I can actually accomplish. I know. The spike balls hit him. I don't see spike balls. Oh, from the blaster on the right side. Okay, that makes sense. He is stun locking me like crazy though. And he's going to get hit a few times while the switch was the other way around. Just waiting for an opportunity where I won't be stun locked. Fortunately, just waiting for the right combination of timing can be a bit laborious, but we'll get this and go. And that looks like it's it for now. So hopefully that was a useful test. I think preserving the power-up progress a little more elegantly and minimizing some of the reversals should probably be the priority there. And some of the specific spaces in the level that were a little bit awkward, I think we talked about already, so thank you for that. And yeah, looking forward to additional versions. Okay, I believe we actually have a sub to pull in the queue, so let's do that. It's going to be Nugu Kaza. Actually remember to pull sub next for a change. And yes, Indignation, yes, that's right. You requested that a while ago. I completely forgot for some reason. Yeah, sorry about that. That I should have read that one during the level. Things got a little bit disorganized here. Just one moment, let me pull that up. Yeah, I usually don't miss it for that long. Okay, Indignation Judgment, as requested quite a few minutes ago, here is Sonnet 58. That God forbid that made me first your slave, I should in thought to control your times of pleasure, or at your hand the account of hours to crave, being your vassal, bound to stay your leisure. Oh, let me suffer, being at your beck, the imprisoned absence of your liberty, and patience, tamed to sufferance, hide each check, without accusing you of injury. Be where you list, your charter is so strong that you yourself may privilege your time, what you will. To you it not belong, yourself to pardon of self-doing crime. I am to wait, the waiting so be hell. Not blame your pleasure, be it ill or well. And yeah, thank you for that, Indignation Judgment. Sorry about the delay. Very unusual. Thanks for the reminder, and thank you, Glitch, for dropping by with those levels today. Okay, so Team P-Balloon's account has 10 coins Ninja TA. And a pretty decent clear rate, but I guess the idea here is to do things quickly if you can. And the record's been shaved all the way down to under 9 seconds, so let's see how we do. Reach the goal after grabbing all 10 coins. 10-second limit. Ah, yes, okay, so we have to do it in 10 seconds. The record shaved it by 1 second off of the limit. We will likely just follow the slopes down low. Maybe that's not the best idea. Let's see if maybe there's a more elegant way to do this. And yeah, I'm rebounding off of everything a little bit much. This guy here up top is the biggest obstacle. I want to finish at the goal if I can. I want my path to finish at the goal. So I think we should maybe go here first. Wow, 2 seconds. We could be doing that quite a lot better. Yeah, a little bit of dead time, I think, if you do that. I was getting closer. 8 coins. Just fumbling around a little bit much. I mean, obviously, you do need to tag the first one down low first. But top middle is the biggest problem, so we'll... I probably want to retain the boost as continuously as I can. I'm slowing down a little bit much. As you can see, that's actually fairly close. It's just that approaching that last coin from above the semi-solid might not be smart. I want to test something. If I approach it from up top, yeah, it doesn't collect. So I think I do have to go for that quickly. And I'm still getting bumped a bit, so... Okay. Getting there. Was not the worst path that I could have selected. Whoops. Yeah, I need to do it a turnaround a bit more smoothly, I think. Yeah, that guy up top is just causing tons of trouble. The idea should be to maintain boost for as often as possible. Because of the rainbow placements, I really do need to go for these two at the bottom right away. This is not going to be the run. Guessing I'm probably about 2 seconds off right now. You know, if you end with a nice big straightaway, it's still going to be a bit of a challenge to set up. No. Too much bumping. Okay, planning something to turn around so I don't crash into the wall so much is important, but that top slot is still giving me a bit of trouble. Electro Dude, welcome. Oh, just too many issues with that guy. In the top left middle, I should say. I guess I haven't picked a good time to be going for that yet. If I maybe bump that right away and then do that instead. Oh, that's a lot better, actually. That if I just go straight to that one in the top middle and get the rebound. And then maybe come down here. String the rest together. Yeah, bumped the walls a bit much, but scared for exams next week, Jude. Well, do let me know what exams you're taking this time around. Time flies. It seems like it was just the start of term not long ago. Maybe if you finish on that last coin that's on the goal, that's going to be fine, but I feel like I do need to collect it early. Just because its positioning is too awkward otherwise. Getting close, that's a plausible path. Modern cryptography and graphics and game technology, okay. I mean, I guess, how modern are we talking about when it comes to modern cryptography? Like, I guess I can't think of too many of the major developments since RSA, in spite of the fact that cryptographic research continues apace. It always seems like the last really big landmark was RSA coming in. And just, you know, prime factorization methods in general. Until quantum breaks everything, of course. And, whoops, not quite. Yeah, I mean, of course RSA would be covered. I'm just sort of wondering how much past that would be part of a modern cryptography curriculum. I guess I've just been away from all that stuff for far too long. Oops. Yeah, it must be interesting to see how graphics and game technology is taught these days as well. I know that. Like I don't really know if everything is still being taught with things like OpenGL, given it. You know, it's much less in active use as an API these days, but again, it's been a long time since I've looked at any of that, so. And Red Knight, welcome. It's been really interesting to see the era of stuff like real-time ray tracing arrive at last. Because, of course, computational it felt so far off. Not long ago. I'd say even a decade ago. I was kind of fascinated with ray tracers when I was younger. There was, particular freeware ray tracer that I used to play with, where you would just manually code in coordinates. Like, you wouldn't be modeling anything in a graphical interface like you do now with Maya and Blender and so on. You would just be passing like coordinate instructions directly to the rendering engine. And yeah, I used to play around with that stuff as a bit of a hobby project long ago. This is what I used to do for fun. The last one had a nice wall bounce up top. Yeah, I'm still trying to find a good pattern. Like, if I go for this one first and try to go for like a diagonal going up to this bounce. Last assignment was a little game with a physics engine. Yeah, it seems like a lot of graphics courses are kind of caught like that. Of course, I don't know if you've designed anything particularly interesting that you want to tell us about. It seems like you, at least in 2D space, do so much game design and level design as is that you would have a bit of a head start with that, as long as you get the engine work done. Whoops. Get a ball to the finish and draw the needed polygons. Okay. Nope, still not a good bounce there. Yeah, this level seems like it's all about the bounces in some ways. Nope. Not quite. That pattern still has too much travel distance, I think. It's not really ideal. I mean, this is going to require some kind of looping here and there. It's not going to be a straight path. You're messing around with the Quest VR game where you fly with an object that acts like a P-balloon. Yeah, it seems like you've had plenty of practice designing for the P-balloon as is, and so that would translate pretty neatly, I think, if you... And the thing is, if you're dealing with the P-balloon in some kind of original engine or code base of yours, that you don't even need to deal with all of the basic Mario movement that we're doing. I mean, it's just literally just top-down steering, right? It seems like it would be not too much of a pain to implement. And Electro Dude, thank you for March of the Goombas. Okay. Surely we can do this. This is, what, a 5% level, or... was after all the P-Balloon experts got their hand on it. Oh. Yeah, getting bumped out on a semi-solid is not a good idea. We need to spend more time boosting, I think. I still haven't really committed to a path that seems good. That was a good bounce. And then, whoops. Almost. If we didn't get that last bump off to semi-solid, that might have actually made it. But I still don't like the idea of going down to the goal pole coin last. Because the positioning just feels so awkward in terms of having to go around. But I also don't like the extra travel distance of going for it as the second coin. Yeah, it seems like I'm just not using the slope interactions with the P-Balloon well enough. Yeah, too much travel time with this strategy. I mean, with fewer bumps, maybe that's viable, but... with fewer bumps, a whole bunch of things are generally more viable, so... but trying to do that momentum-preserving rebound that Nokukaza you've shown me a few times before, that seems to be the key to this. I'm like trying to maintain speed as you turn around. Because I remember you had shown me some levels that require that, and I'm trying to do that once again, but not very successfully. Okay, I actually managed to activate the goalpost for once, which is already an improvement. Although, as you can see, still way too many awkward bumps. Yeah, I don't really have a comfortable path yet. Despite getting closer with some of the ones that we've been trying. Too much bumping. Losing a little too much speed, as usual. But if we don't hit so many walls, I feel like we aren't actually too far from getting this right. Whoops. No. Too slow. And that was, of course, just a miss, but also still not speedy enough to make time. Okay, this is the most promising one in a while. Well, that's clearly doable. Yeah, that one I could tell early on that it was going to go fairly well, actually. Nope. It was taking this diagonal up that just worked out really well that time. See, suddenly this looks plausible. Nah, too much of a rebound. Not in the place that I actually want. Yeah. I mean, this is the best half that I've found so far. It's still not that clean on my side. It does have a pretty high potential of bumping into corners. I'm even just a little off. Almost there. Probably about half a second off at this point. Some of what I'm doing in the current route. As you can see, just getting within about 3 tiles of the goal. Have to account for some of the P-Balloon wind-up time, of course. Whoops. Too bumpy. Oh, too many bumps. And yeah, not a great exit out of that corner. B-Minutes, thank you so much for extending that resub. Glad to have you back here with the wonderful Samlet emote. For those who don't know, B-Minutes is the other Shakespearean Mario Maker player, and so you can see the emote there is actually Samus performing the role of Hamlet in the final act in that play. And B-Minutes, thank you for adding whatever it is you've thrown in there, which Warp World will tell me soon enough. Okay. Yeah, if I turn that corner on the second coin a little more tightly, things may go well. Hey, that was actually a smooth series of turns that time. Oh, almost. Bit of slowdown at the end. But much less of that rebound momentum loss that time compared to previous attempts. Too much momentum lost near the end, though. Yeah, ideally I want to turn around smoothly. Like that. Yeah, I think the idea is that I need to, on either the far left or the far right wall, turn around smoothly enough to preserve momentum. While not missing, of course. And that is your maker code, okay. Yeah, I don't know if there was some kind of reset on the Warp World database or something, but a few people have been sending me maker codes with, like, different maker names or older versions of maker names or something like that. Which may or may not have changed since. But Warp World's just been behaving a little weirdly lately, so. This is not going to be the attempt, but that's due to a little bit too much spinning around. Whoops. Yeah, I'll probably be closing the queue fairly soon today, given that I'm not planning to run as long as I usually do. All the viewer streams have been going absurdly long in the last few weeks, in fact. I have to keep that under control. And it's been a mix of a couple of factors, just playing hard levels or just having a burst of newcomers here and there. No, that was not great. I didn't even bump into that many walls, but I was losing speed all over the place, and it was clear that would not be it. No. There might be a better path than what I'm doing, but this has been the most promising one so far, and I do kind of want to stick with it just to see if I can polish off the execution, given how close we've gotten with it on prior attempts. Whoops. Yeah, I really do need to pick up that coin in the corner, though. Yeah, closest we've come is probably about 3 tiles from the goal, so between the two rainbow columns to the right we go. That is something I've approached a few times by now, but not enough to really make this look all that much easier. Yeah, still losing too much speed. You can see that wouldn't have made it anyway. The bonk stun is getting me more now. Yeah, in some ways it is, actually. I'm beginning to slip a little bit in certain places. And yeah, it's that slope. I'm hitting the bottom slope there at the end. Otherwise, that attempt might have made it almost. Yeah, just lots of little adjustments I need to make here. Nope. Yeah, figuring out when to turn around is one of the larger challenges here. Just don't have a really good estimate of my forward momentum. Nope. Yeah, pretty sloppy run that time. And yeah, just losing gas on every turn there. Yeah, I don't know if I should be looking for a better path. But attempting to do the goalpost coin last is, I think, is going to cause more trouble. Nope. Definitely overcompensating. Okay, this is the best one in a while. That is the best one, actually. Best run so far. You can just tell when it's going well. Because the momentum is really easy to feel in the fingers. Yeah, so far I have every indication that the route is viable. But it does need to be played much cleaner. No. I don't know why I'm turning in the wrong direction now. Starting to slip a bit. Yeah, once again, trying to avoid the stun on the wall is maybe vital here. Like, yeah, just turning around and letting up the boost so you don't lose everything. No, it's still going too far. Well, we'll see. Don't know if this one's going to go, but... getting close enough that the method is worth repeating. Okay, that's better than usual, but no, still a bad turn at the end. Nope. Stopped a bit short. And keep hitting that corner. And yeah, I'm having a lot of wrong turns now for some reason, but the muscle memory is beginning to drift a bit. I am trying to take a left there. Maybe that's not the right idea. Yeah, I wonder what's going on directionally there now, because it's not as clean as it was. That was actually reasonably close. Once again, I just keep bumping the last corner. Nope, still trapped there. That's a difficult location. Okay, nope. Might need to bail on this one in a few minutes, unfortunately. I mean, I've gotten so close, and it's something that I think can be done, just with a little bit of refinement here, but... You like the stunless bonk I was doing for the top coin. Yeah, that did seem fairly promising at the time, but... And yeah, I don't mind a tip. I feel like I've forgotten some of the mechanics that I should know for this from having played a lot of the earlier P-Balloon levels. Just from lack of practice. And look at that, it's so close. Another close attempt that was past the rainbow semi-solid by the goal. Oops. And Red Knight, yes, we will redeem that at the end of this level. But thanks to the patience of the people who are tucked behind all this. Release boost a little bit earlier before I hit the wall. Yeah. Almost. I can be turning while I'm not boosting. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I need a bit of a stop on this one, but we'll try it again if you do resubmit it. I'm close enough with this path that I think with cleaning up the technique on a wall in a way that you mentioned, I probably can do it. Just it might need a separate series of attempts. And also because with Red Knight getting into Q-skip, I want to make sure I get everything in at a reasonable amount of time. Red Knight, I'm going to bring you in with the Q-skip, and then I'm going to decide whether I want to close the queue now. I may want to do that, so... Thank you for that, Nugukaza. And thanks again to the patience of the people who are stuck behind. Now let me make sure the code is correctly entered. Hang on. I'm trying to punch yours in here. It should be undercurrent. Want to give the newest one a try? Yeah, I'll punch that in and see what it is we're looking at. But it will probably be queue closing so things don't get totally out of control the way they have been in recent weeks. Bouncer. Beefy full jumps inspired by Panga and Hilo. And so this is a preview of something that's in development. Okay, yeah, we can certainly try it. I will close for now, and we may reopen later if things move along fairly quickly. So just give me a moment while I update my stream information. And we'll hop right in. Reach the goal without landing after leaving the ground. Let's see if we can do it. Whoa, okay. Just lots of shells bouncing everywhere. Let me just figure out how to read this properly. You need to hit this. You need to grab the shell. I think I do need to wear the shell because that allows me to bump other things all over the place, but... Beefy full jumps, you were saying, though. So maybe... No, the shell maybe just needs to go. But I definitely need to hit the marked locations. Hang on. There's enough going on that I'm still trying to read the initial path just to understand... Okay, no, I should hit the jump blocks and the P markers in sequence then. And to do so, I probably would be able to pick up a helmet unless I'm supposed to just let everything bounce around me. Probably not, because if I don't bump that, I'll get into some issues. Okay, so I do pick that up if I take damage there. Huh, interesting. And yeah, it is sort of interesting that you have this multiple shell trigger at the very start, in terms of getting the shell train going. You're telling me beefy full jumps, but I'm wondering if I'm supposed to skip ahead to this? Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, so I skip over to jump blocks entirely, I go straight for the P markers. And then I should be able to pick up the spiny helmets in the marked location. There we go. There we go. This took me a moment to understand. And then we'll just keep reading more of this as we go. And I totally bopped on the wrong shell. Yeah, it just took me a moment to understand the notation system here, but I think I understand what's going on as long as I mean, I do have to take damage through the booze. But if I take damage through the booze, am I supposed to be bouncing on another shell? I'm not really clear on that yet. 1 second. Yeah, I do need to bounce on a shell there. So currently it's just reading what to do after the booze that... Whoops. I'll need to be looking out for. Yeah, okay, no, I do need to bounce on a shell because of a clear condition, and then I bounce on a mole on the way over. Whoa. I always have this temptation to bounce on a note block instead of the P marker. But that's just my tendency to aim for playable elements rather than markers, which... Yeah, I am supposed to hit that question block as well to get the next shell launch. I do see that as well. A lot of it is just a reading exercise in terms of seeing what to interact with while everything else is just whizzing around you. Okay. I lost a bit of momentum into that shell because I was pulling back a bit, so... But, up to that point, things are getting a lot more understandable. Yeah, the piranha plant is meant to kind of constrain your position. Nudge your falling arc a little bit to the left. Nope, overshooting the mole. Partly overshooting the mole because I'm missing the block. If I'm hitting the block, I should be able to fall directly to the mole fairly accurately. Whoops. There we go. Two jumps there, and then it looks like I'm probably supposed to pick up the spiny shell again, going into the third jump after that. Would be expected to pick it up in the box as before, and yeah, as long as I hit the question block, I should be able to fall down to the mole accurately before it runs off, so... Just not really hitting my targets. And yeah, a lot of it is just being able to read which element you're interacting with at a given time, and just sort of visually blanking out the other ones that you don't need to deal with yet. Just because there is a fair bit happening. No, need to hit the second Goom. I didn't really expect it to waddle off like that. But then that would get me up to picking up the Spiny Hat a second time. Nope, missing the question block. Yeah, some of that's pretty simple to fix, though. From the player's perspective. Yeah, the Goomba walking back at the end of that platform after the first bounce is throwing me off a lot. But I should just straighten out a bit on that column, I guess. Not try to guess its position the way that I've been doing. Okay, boom, boom. Got most of the way, actually. That was a significant chunk of progress. Yeah, you need to hold down full jumps, but there's a lot of horizontal positioning going on in terms of getting the right blocks with your head and landing in the right locations, so it is pretty much all about the horizontal positioning and the forward momentum. That's mainly what's going on in this level. Nope, something didn't trigger. I guess I didn't launch something that I was supposed to launch. Whoops. It certainly looks very stylish when you put it all together. Okay, here we go. Boom Boom's surprisingly controllable there for something on a cloud. Surprisingly reliable position, but then... Of course, you have such a narrow window to interact with everything that... it's not going to be thrown off too much. Okay. There we are. And yeah, hitting that shell... launching it by hitting the block rather was something that was previously an issue, but should be able to clean that up. Yeah, the Piranha kind of pushing me to the left there is something that does throw me off a bit. Because I always pull back a little too far against it on my way down. It does allow you to plan the falling arc a little better, I suppose. Without having to guess, but I just tend to pull back too hard against things like that. Okay, down we go. Nope, missing the shell in the bottom. A little bit difficult for me to see sometimes, given that it does come in really quickly in the bottom row. My eyes don't tend to be there at the time, given that I'm focusing on my accuracy in the middle going for that second coin and boo stack and boo row, I guess. And all that. But yeah, I just need to keep my eyes on the bottom row as well when I get there. So we can actually hit that shell accurately. Whoops. Okay. We'll try it again. Nope, missing the block. Yeah, I just need to pull back pretty cleanly on that sequence. To hit the block, fall through the coins and the boo. The coin and the boos, and then down to the shell that's whizzing right to left. All the way on the bottom. You do need to trust this level quite a bit. Just trust it to do its thing. Okay. And yeah, just overshooting that jump over the bomb. That's going to be another sequence where you hit the P block, then hit a block on the ceiling, and then fall back to another target. So I do need to pull back horizontally once again in order to line everything up properly. But those sequences of 3 hits in succession are all over the place in this level, you know, where you hit a P block, hit the ceiling, hit a moving target. One after the other. It punctuates the level all over the place. Yeah, that kind of maneuver right there. No, need to go for the Wiggler. Yeah, I guess reading the curve tracks as part of the notation is kind of important. Very easy to just blank on some of the tracks as part of the background, but they do give you an indication of where you might want to fall. Okay, I missed a shell launcher that time. Yeah, I did like that beat with the cheap cheap near the end. That was kind of a nice touch. We'll just need to get out of there cleanly afterwards. Nope. Okay, here we go. But yeah, I think this is definitely pretty doable, just a matter of stringing all the right sequences together. Not getting thrown off by other moving targets that you see along the way. No, I'm supposed to fall into the shell, aren't I? Fall into the shell, and that allows me to bounce on top of the piranhas. So I was just a little too far to the left there. Well, pretty good chunk of the way in so far. I don't know why my momentum was so far off there. Something went quite wrong. And we'll steadily figure out what. Okay, bouncing it on everything I can. You know, like how you have to let go in order to get to the dry bowl, yeah. And Mang Mangy, yeah, sorry you can't stay for yours. I know that we had a couple of things happen with a sub and a skip ahead of you. So you got pushed back quite a ways, but hopefully we'll see you back soon enough. And no worries about that, man. We'll hopefully get plenty of time into your level the next time you come back. And yeah, I should be running tomorrow as well, so. You pet a dog today. B-Minutes, like it. Always makes me think of that, can you pet the dog in the video game account that's just sort of posting confirmations or denials all the time of whether or not you can pet the dog. I assume that you mean in real life, but whatever works. And yeah, Red Eye letting go to fall into shell without picking it up does throw me off quite a bit sometimes. And as soon as I saw that, I realized, okay, that's probably part of the issue here. And yes, Electrodude, indeed it is true. Mang seems to have shed the yogurt pants. There were 2 therapy dogs at your school. B-Minutes. Oh, okay. Didn't realize that. I didn't realize that schools had therapy dogs. Much less 2. In case one of them is indisposed or just taking the day off. Okay, there we go. But in general, I think I don't quite understand the concept of therapy dogs. In terms of, you know, when that would be prescribed as the best solution. Oops. Nope. Missing the shell. One follows the principal around and the other one kind of roams. Okay, so I see they are hanging around because the principal is the one who needs therapy. If that's the implication. Well, in that case, the workplace must be quite stressful. Yeah, no, as you were saying, they're there to comfort the kids. I don't know that I would have been comforted by a therapy dog, but... I guess it depends on how well the children are going to be responsive to that. Anyway, down we go. I mean, isn't that just setting up a situation where just about anybody could plausibly claim the dog ate their homework? The dogs could practically subsist on a diet of homework. Mashing it all together into an indistinguishable pulp. And okay, there we go. Not quite. Yeah, the boom boom in the cloud is still a very nice touch every time I see it. Okay, just wanting to get another good solid attempt back at the bone shell, which has been as far as I've made it so far. Totally missed something there. In terms of not having a shell available in that position, I think I just missed a trigger. Once again. Down we go. Oh, probably just hit the wrong shell somewhere, or... yeah, failed to hit a launcher. Thank you for the follow. Likely the sort of thing going on here, so... SMG4 2025. Well, I mean, we kind of need Super Mario Galaxy 3 first, wouldn't we? I'd certainly hope we're up to 4 by then. Whoops. Yeah, I certainly feel like there's a lot more that could still be done with Mario Galaxy as a concept. I do hope they return to it someday. Okay, got over to Cheep Cheep once again. Not quite swooping down to that marker over where the Wiggler is going to intercept me. Or where I will intercept a Wiggler, I should say. You think it's Super Mario Glitchy and Super Meme Guardian... or... just a submachine gun, perhaps. Like, by then we'll be several sequels into that... Donkey Mint machine gun level. Tony Montana mole. Whoa, okay. Yeah, once again, I just missed a shell launcher there. There's There's always enough going on visually that when I do miss, it takes me a moment to realize why I missed. But it's usually, I think, just because of not hitting a block that's supposed to fire a shell, or bounce a shell. Like right before the Goomba that time I missed the brick that's just supposed to push a shell forward, if you're hitting it at the perfect time. Actually kind of impressive how reliably everything works when you do in fact hit everything accurately as planned. Like a well-oiled piece of clockwork where you are part of the clockwork. Cycling around the shells all day. Nope, still hitting that low ceiling. Okay, something was slightly out of alignment there for me to get killed by the shell, which is a very rare occurrence. This didn't line something up properly. It's one of the only times I've been whacked on the side by a shell in this level, which is impressive considering how many shells are flying around at all times. Okay, Wiggler. And once again, I was trying to let go of the dash button there to fall into the shell without grabbing it, but I think I actually accidentally let up on the jump button instead, so that's just a muscle memory issue there. Very clear to me what to do. Yeah, that was the best attempt in a while, though. In terms of actually getting as far as the dry bone shell. Which is a pretty significant landmark in the level. Nope. And down we go. Nope. Yeah, surprisingly tricky for something where you're just doing full bounces everywhere. Yeah, all it is just managing the left-right positioning. But there's enough going on at any given time that... yeah, same issue once again, just a muscle memory issue. Need to let go of dash, not let go of jump. Despite what a standard motion that is in things like shell jump levels. Holding down jump while letting go of dash, it's something that's never really felt natural to me, simply because until I was doing things like shell jumps and Kaizo levels, it's not really a button combination that has ever been relevant in standard Mario, so just one of those things that you have to get used to as you train it up. And also understand the many other situations when that's going to show up, like falling into a bone shell. The way that we saw right there, so... That's just something to be aware of as we try to negotiate that successfully. Whoops. Nope, still hitting the ceiling every time. Yeah, this is a very clean theme to be doing this in. In terms of readability, I mean, you know, everything's going to be quite busy as is, like the SMB3. Just give you enough contrast in the art styles here. Make this fairly appealing, so in some ways it makes some things easier to read. Nope, missed. I was thinking ahead to the way I would do the bone shell drop in. Clearly thinking a little too far ahead instead of attending to that jump. You know, because of the damage boost that I have to take off the booze anyway, I shouldn't feel as threatened by that piranha on the wall as I am. I can totally take damage from that, because if I do, I mean, I just still need to go for the next shell in a damaged state. But the piranha is useful because it does constrain your jump angle such that you can get over to the question block smoothly. But if you get hit by the piranha, that's not too bad. It's just that your angle might be too sharp going down. And I missed the mole. I don't even know what I'm supposed to hit after the mole, though. Spin jump on a mole, and this looks like it's supposed to be an up pipe if there's a P-switch that activates or something, maybe. I'm not actually sure. B-Minutes, do I like JRPGs? Yeah. I mean, I don't get to play very many of them nowadays simply because they are so long, but... Yeah, for instance, like the last one I really put serious time into was Octopath Traveler, I think, and I liked it a lot and I didn't finish it. I just got sidetracked by something, and I was so deep in at that point I felt like I would have had to start over. But yeah, I spent way too much time on all of the Xenoblade games. All 3.5 of them, if you count Torna as a half. Although I still prefer traditional turn-based battle systems, which mostly just comes from having been introduced to the genre in the first place through the major classics, you know, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, etc. And yeah, B-Minutes, I know you were recently catching up on Final Fantasy VII. I actually have not played Final Fantasy VII. So that's something I mean to catch up on as well at some point. Okay, no, I see what's going on here. That if I spin jump a little bit later off the bone shell, the spiny hat should be able to kill both boos. The spiny hat would then allow me to bust through the block that allows me to go through the up pipe. I understand what the correction is now. Yeah, it took me a moment to understand that, but now that I see what was going on with the spiny hat, that makes a lot of sense. Nope, still hitting that note block on the side. Yeah, I wish I had time to get to Bravely Default 2, given that I really loved the first one. I spent a lot of time just tricking out the battle system and putting interesting combos together. Red Knight is going to request number 1. Sorry, I almost missed that. Let's pull it up. Okay, This will be William Shakespeare sonnet number 1. Haven't done this one in a long time, actually. From fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty's rose might never die. But as the riper should by time decease, his tender air might bear his memory. But thou contracted thine own bright eyes, feeds thy light's flame with self-substantial fuel, making a famine where abundance lies, thyself thy foe, thy sweet self too cruel. Thou that art now the world's fresh ornament, and only herald to the gaudy spring, within thine own bud buryest thy content, and tender churl makest waste in niggarding. Pity the world, or else this glutton be, to eat this world's due by the grave and thee. And thank you for that, Redneye. As B Minutes has actually commented on many times in the past, sonnet number 1 does have one word that you need to trip over very carefully to the modern audience. Hopefully we negotiated that well enough. So. And yeah, no, B Minutes, I remember discussing that with you. Because whenever that one comes up, I sort of think, okay, we have to enunciate clearly here. Whoops. I feel like I'm close enough to the up pipe. I know I've been on this level a long time now, but I'm close enough that I want to see it through, so. Thank you as always to the patience of people waiting behind us in queue. I know that we've had a bit of reordering today that has made for some especially long waits, but we'll try to get everybody played. No, I don't know why I was going for that note block. Just lost way too much momentum. You're going to make the kids write sonnets on Monday. Which of the sonnet rhyme schemes are you going with, then? If you had a particular preference. Anyway. Imagine to cringe, yeah. Of course, but, you know, you'll have that one really talented student, maybe one really promising student who takes to the forum and might not be able to produce something great instantly, but enjoys the process enough to eventually turn out some really crafty stuff. But yeah, I'm sure the rhymes at a school level will be totally trite, but that's just poetry at that level for you. And it's the engagement that counts. Whoops. Okay, missed a coin. I see what's going on here. I need to jump out at precise enough a diagonal that the spiny hat hits both the booze and the coin. Then I land on top of the bullet. Landing on top of the bullet allows me to pop the brick that is under that. But then, do I get a second bullet quickly enough to actually go up the pipe? I'm not clear on this. Hang on, let's bust this guy. I'm trying to get under there so I can actually see what's going on. Let me just see how much is left here. Ah, okay, you don't touch the ground, and in order to not touch the ground, I would need to take the frog suit and then... Does the frog suit allow me to enter without losing the ground condition? I think it does, but I need to do so before the water lowers itself, right? Or... like the frog suit, when it's sort of in that animation that hasn't touched the ground yet, that still counts. I don't really know how the frog suit interacts with this clear condition, to be honest, so... I guess that's a final check. And yeah, Electrodude, you need red coins. I think it's clearly mandatory. Oh, so you have a performance as the reward for the monologue. That's interesting. Sounds like fun for everyone. Or, well, fun for you at least. I hope. Whoops. Ah, okay, no. I totally forgot about the mole, or didn't see the mole. It's mole first, and then the brick, and then bonsai, and then pipe. I get it. We're almost there. Yeah, I just needed to go back there enough to read that sequence properly and understand what was happening, but I understand what's supposed to happen now. And then I need to deal with not failing the clear condition on the frog, so... Kids don't care about anything except Minecraft and anime. Interesting. I mean, that's a testament to two things. First of all, Minecraft's long-term staying power, because you would think that, you know, things are faddish enough among children that they would just sort of drop it for a totally incomprehensible trend every cohort a couple years apart. But then you have some things, like, I guess the one before Minecraft would have been something like Pokemon, where it really had like multi-generational staying power. And just a renewable audience that kept coming in. Also, I didn't know anime was that big among school children. It might just be a demographic that you're teaching, but I'm also totally out of touch with that age group, so... I'm just so accustomed to the idea of anime as being this relative niche that's in some ways overrepresented in Nintendo circles, where, you know, I'm around Nintendo people, of course, and it seems like everybody else knows way more about anime than I do. I guess part of it is availability, that you have a lot more that's available on streaming services nowadays, and so just access to the content is much easier for general audiences. And yeah, I have watched none of those. I've heard of most of them, but I'm completely unfamiliar with that. But I think some of it is that you have things like Netflix availability making things convenient nowadays. Okay. Nope, missing the mole. That's a tough one. Yeah, this level is actually easier than my playtime on it would suggest, I think. It's just that I made a lot of mistakes in the initial reading. I can also tell that my Mario playing is a little bit off today, like my reaction time is a bit slower than usual. And those days just come every now and then. Whoops. And here we are. I think the person I know who is most in an anime is actually a Renaissance historian. Knows tons about the subject, has probably given talks about the subject, and worked it into teaching and so on. Probably not working at it in teaching of Renaissance history, but, you know, of some other related media studies subjects. But yeah, you really do have to pick and choose your battles when it comes to content these days, just with everything being incredibly time-consuming. I've often been baffled by how people could keep up with seemingly as many different television series as they do, and then I realize, oh, that's because I spend the equivalent amount of time playing Mario Maker every week. Because I'd say until this year, until 2021, I had not watched any major television series end to end for a very long time. And then this year I did a big catch up on all the Star Wars animated content. Just went through all of it over the course of a few weeks. But yeah, usually I'm watching either feature films or shorts. I don't really tend to follow series. Because, you know, they just seem like such a big time commitment, and then I realized that I've probably spent more time on Mario Maker in a given week than it takes to actually watch a miniseries. And in some ways, I would rather be playing Mario Maker, so it works out. And Red Eye, I had somebody mention Squid Game to me here last week as well on the stream. I am only vaguely aware of what it is, like a Korean Battle Royale reality show or something. That is not to be confused with Splatoon. But otherwise, no, I don't really have much of an idea about it. I know it's one of those cases where, again, its popularity is partly because it's very widely available and easy to catch. Okay, Red Eyes, just so you know, I am going to try to complete this, but if I fail the clear completion on the frog, I will probably put this down for the time being. Like, I will at least try to get through the pipe and to the frog, but I don't imagine I would repeat past that today. I'm surprised by how long I spent on this, actually, just because, you know, is something that is a level that comes in small doses and doesn't feel particularly tense. It's more that there's a lot of positioning going on. And it's easy to forget how many attempts I have already spent on it. Because it doesn't actually feel that hard. Like, all of the mistakes look fairly manageable. And, of course, I am bumping to a lot of things on the side. Okay. Nope. Yeah, after a little while in this level, you can kind of enter a bit of a trance state. Yeah, apart from some repeated trouble spots, most things are going much more reliably, at least. There we go. Okay, now let's not die to the frog in terms of my ability to enter this thing. There we go. And up this pipe. And is the gold card soon? Yes, it is. Okay, great. Yeah, I didn't know that about the frog, that you could enter and not have a failed to clear condition, and yet when you entered a door, it looks like the frog is actually landing on his feet because of the animation of entering at the same level. Anyway, thank you for that. World record only because this is the second clear. And, well, we made it. Yeah, the last person I think did much better in terms of clear rate, but... And like you said, this is a preview. I'm quite happy to play the final version, of course, when you have that ready. And hopefully some of this practice will remain in place, so... Thank you for that, Red Nye. And thank you for the GGs. NSM player, if you're still here. Sorry about the extremely long wait since you queued. And we'll see how many in the queue are actually present. I do see NSM player listed as being in the chat, so I'll just wait a moment for a check-in. I don't know if the level works without the clear condition. Well, I guess it does. I mean, you just die to stuff and stumble around since, well, I mean, if you don't have the clear condition, it seems like you could probably just pick up enough shells by wearing shells that you could just damage boost through a big chunk of the level, right? I mean, it wouldn't be a particularly elegant way to do it, and I wonder if people would try. But yeah, no, I think the clear condition is okay in terms of making it work. It's more that I can see that you wanted to make sure some kind of door entry was controlled by the pink coins in a way that would work in the SMB3 theme. Okay. NSM player seems to be in the chat but has not checked in, so I will leave them in the queue and just rotate through people who are not able to check in. I don't know if Address is still here. Address, I think, ditched. That's understandable, of course, just given how long we've been taking. But I'll wait a moment for the check-in. Otherwise, next will be Electrodude, I think. Or, actually, no, this should be Who was before Red Knight? Nugukaza was before Red Knight. So, okay, this will be a next, not a sub-next. So we'll do Electrodude next. We'll just rotate in as necessary. Unless NSM checks in, of course. Electrodude is definitely here. And Electrodude, I did see that you had this Goomba level come up. I assume that it was for that CC Replays Goomba extravaganza that's been going on, where seems like a lot of people I know or follow have been making Goomba levels for that. And hopefully that went well. Let's take a look at this one. March of the Goombas. The Goombas are on the move, and the Spike Tops joined in too. Mr. Influential, if we finish fairly early, I may reopen for one more, but we'll see. It depends on how these last ones go. I'm just trying to not get into that situation we had in recent streams where I ended up going for 5 hours. Also, I thought that we might be running longer earlier because Mang was still in the queue, but then Mang had to leave, so we're in slightly better shape. And yeah, no worries, Mr. Influential. Glad to see you drop by regardless. Expecting results this weekend. Okay. Yeah, it seemed like there were lots and lots of Goomba levels, so. Well, first part of it went smoothly. I like the Goom splits on this one as well. Yeah, thought I was getting zoned out by the blaster briefly, but quite like the reuse of that stack on the right side as well. Yeah, I guess I should be aiming for the coin because of that bounce, but took me a moment to understand. No, I'm supposed to hit this, obviously. And Red Knight, yeah, that's sort of an interesting observation because you would think that, you know, you see that standard interaction with the Buzzy Beetles when Mario stands on it. But, like, look at that second stack when you peel off the top. It's not a weight-based thing, I don't think. Like, look at this one here. You peel off the Goomba, and then... Yeah, the standard Goomba raises it, but a winged Goomrat does not. So it's not a weight thing, it's based on whether the stacked object has wings, I think. So it's not a weight calculation the way that a seesaw would be. It's just enemy stack behavior. And I don't think I really knew this. I've almost certainly seen it before, but I would not have been able to just sort of remember that off the top of my head. Seems really useful, though. No, we need multiple bounces here, obviously, to get up to the vine-assisted up-pipe entry. Yeah, if we get through the whole queue fairly early today, I think what I might actually do is go back to Nugukaza's if he is still here. Because it was so close that I feel like a couple more attempts could do it. But we'll see. We'll make that decision based on how long the remaining levels take and what attendance is like at the end. Anything static slides off the Muncher, but the Goombas move in the same direction of the spike top. Trying to visualize what it is you mean, but... Yeah, so yeah, notice that it's not really a hard stack, that the big Goomrat is being dropped on top of the spike top, loosely. Yeah, no, I see what you mean now, that ordinarily when you have a drop like that, they slide off, but the Goomba is also kind of walking left. That's very neat, actually. I hadn't seen that before. That would explain why I hadn't seen that before. Yeah, you said anything static slides off to the spike top. I understood what that you meant. But the Goomba is walking at the same speed. That's what's going on. But the fact that it is raising the spike top level is really pretty interesting. Yeah, which is why you need a Goomba stack under a Muncher when you want a Muncher on top of the spike top. I get it. Whoops. Yeah, that's a very neat discovery with the Goomba walking logic. In general, there are lots of neat stacking tricks going on in this level that I'm only partially appreciating because I'm too busy playing. Like, look at this movement of this stack here. That's kind of neat as well. Whoa, just slipping off, and we're fairly close to the ending at this point. It doesn't work with Goombas only, it works with anything that walks at Goomba speed, yeah, so... Theoretically, if you had a loose drop of a... I want to say a green Koopa or something, that wouldn't do a turnaround. Yeah. Very neat idea. Whoops. Yeah, for some reason the CC Replays Goomba contest has really brought out a lot of maker talent, like much more than a lot of other contests that I've seen. I think people just had a lot of great Goomba concepts lined up all this time. And we'll miss the one up, that's okay. That's going to be clear. Workaround for a Maker 1 mechanic. I'm trying to remember which Maker 1 mechanic you're talking about, and I am not clear on it, and I feel like I'll have to relearn this stuff soon enough, because for those of you who missed me saying so at the end of the 6YMM streams, I am planning to stream some Maker 1 fairly soon, probably sometime in November, December, especially now that Advance Wars has been delayed. And I need to put something else in December. That's the other news of the day, for those who missed it, was that the Advance Wars reboot has been bumped back into 2022. Which in some ways is sad, and in other ways is actually a bit of a relief, given how incredibly busy I am. And B-Minutes, yeah, I'm going to check... 1 second, let me mark this as a win. Then... we'll bring you in. And Wario didn't finish high school. Well, certainly not your high school. This looks like it's a 3-second level. Interesting. Is there really? I haven't seen a Splatoon manga. Yeah, I don't know if there's a particular thing that you want to recommend. Yeah, I enjoyed Wargroove. I thought that the map design in a campaign left much to be desired, but there's a lot mechanically going on in Wargroove that I thought was very clever. Yeah, there's a lot that we haven't touched lately. I don't know if you have a particular recommendation. Because we did the 5-part Kaboom Castle. Anything's fine. I mean, you may be the last one in queue today, so I don't mind spending a bit of time on something. Potentially dangerous clave. Maybe. Ghost House of Ghosts. Yeah, anything's fine. We can do the walk. 0.6. About 4 clears. We can try it. If I don't finish it today, that's fine. We can continue on and push against it. But how painful could it possibly be? Yeah, like I said, you are potentially last in queue today, so we'll just do it. Okay, it's going to be Desert Wind. And, oh, I see. So it is clear condition. I'm going to scout ahead anyway, though. Clear condition with Desert Wind, that's going to be tricky. That's the thing that's going to be the roadblock here. Yeah, because I need to maintain momentum. Or at least maintain my direction when the wind is blowing. Or just not leave the ground. What am I doing? I just don't need to leave the ground until I'm forced to. Yeah, no, this isn't a bounce level. This is a stay on the ground level. But yeah, a little bit of pressure from the auto-scroll, obviously. And from timing the conveyors. Yeah, playing this as a bounce level is probably inordinately difficult, given the wind. So I'm glad I rejected that idea quickly. It is called the walk, not that we think too hard about the meanings of titles here. I think we've just been sort of conditioned in advance by the Red Knight level earlier, which had the don't touch the ground condition, so a little bit locked into that mindset. Electro Dude, you're going to have to do a bit of work now. Yeah, good luck with the exams this week. And thanks for the level again. That's always a bit of a learning experience to see what kind of mechanics Electro Dude has been exploiting. So, well worthwhile. Yeah, we'll manipulate the booze a bit, and we'll get blown right into the dry bones. This is a clear condition level, so we do need to survive all of this continuously. Wasn't there like a 2-minute record on this? Yeah, it's just a long survival. That's okay. And so yeah, like the tuning of each individual segment is not that difficult, but you do need lots of consistency over a long scale, and that's fine. I always like that style of challenge, where everything is manageable, but you still have to not choke too much along the way, and then you just develop better and better methods as you go through repetition. And yeah, I did see that JZL has a record on this. I don't manage to drop by his stream nearly often enough. I'm there from time to time, I just rarely am there at a time when I can submit anything, so... And yeah, it is auto-scroll, but the record, of course, gives me a sense of how much content to expect. I mean, technically speaking, then that means the 500-second limit doesn't matter too much either, unless you really stall at the goalpost at the end. But yeah, that would be about 110 seconds, so surviving down to about the 390 mark would be what to expect. So yeah, I'm probably about halfway at this point. And yeah. You swear they can only land their shots in multiplayer? Oh, I don't know. I've played enough Hammer levels to know what it's like to be whacked in the face by a hammer all alone. Whoops. Their accuracy is about 75% better in multiplayer. I mean, they have more targets to hit. You have to remember that. That would certainly be a factor. I'm sure you're right. I mean, I'm personally kind of very out of touch with the multiplayer side of the game, so I'll just take your word for it. Okay, getting blown into the big dry bones, not this one, but one slightly later, has been a major issue for me. So let's, yeah, this guy here. Let's give myself a little bit more room. Here we go. Whoa, close one there. Okay, let's not get snapped over by the wind too much. Whoa, Hammer RNG is going to pose a bit of a threat here. Whoa. And fire. Yeah, standing too close to that hammer. Don't like it. Okay, Boo Ring is going to get me right near the end. That's clearly right near the end if you look at the timer there. That had to be the ascent to the goal pole, actually. Because at that point, I had spent about the equivalent amount of time as the current record. Either this or Vine Climb 2 is your hardest level. This is manageable. I mean, I had a pretty lucky break in the second half here with some of that spacing. But if we could do that well that quickly, we're fine. Part of it is actually kind of getting in position around the pipes to prevent the piranhas from spawning, if I'm able to do so. It's a bit risky, but It does potentially pay off. The Boo Ring was the last obstacle. Yeah, like I said, I expected that to be the case. So it just means that we have been given an encouraging sign of being able to clear this. Yeah, the green Koopas later are definitely one of the bigger concerns, I think. Because I definitely felt like I got away with some decent spacing on them earlier. Anyway, we'll get there. Eventually. Yeah, obviously the prospect of the hammers deciding to drop down is something that I need to be aware of. So they don't land on my head or something. Because when they're just in their throwing animation, standing underneath the hammers is actually pretty safe. But if they drop down, then things are a little dicier. I just have to keep the boos under control, and then that was getting a little bit close. If they drop down, it's still beatable. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not beatable, I'm just saying I just have to be prepared for that possibility. Well, hey, we've got one really good attempt so far. Yeah, it pays off, I think, to stay reasonably centered rather than just hugging the auto-scroll on the right side, as it's often so tempting to do. However, if you go off to one side, it's easier to keep the boos under control. And yeah, with the hammers, I want to get ahead and once again, just keep the boos in a position that's acceptable to me. I've died to that dry bones a lot with that specific wind timing. Now, the wind timing there is always going to be timed synchronously with the auto-scroll, so I should just not get on the right side of the dry bones in that moment, because yeah, the auto-scroll positioning and the wind timing are going to line up 100% of the time in the same way, and if I'm dying to the wind timing there repeatedly now, it just tells me that that should be avoided completely. Bravely Default 2 has a party member named Elvis. So if somebody takes on the same job class as Elvis, does that make one of your other party members an Elvis impersonator? Let's see. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with Bravely Default 1, just mixing and matching interesting builds. Felt that was just a very rewarding part of the game. But in general, I just found the battle systems terrific. Very, very strategic. Okay, there we go. Nope, thought I could sneak under like I did last time. That was a little bit slow there. Who was my favorite in Bravely 1? Good question. In terms of the asterisks or the classes, I remember I did a lot with the merchant build. Also, Red Mage actually carried me through a great deal of the game, but there comes a point where, you know, the Red Mage just doesn't quite give you the power that you need. Just because of the way that the spells cap out. As a jack of all trades. Oh, in terms of, like, character-wise, yeah. I think I might have to go with Idia as well. I thought, what was his name? Tiz was the protagonist? I thought it was kind of boring, but... You know, just JRPG stand-in. But... Otherwise, considering that you're stuck with the same party of 4 the whole game, like, they had a pretty interesting dynamic amongst themselves. And, B-Minutes, I don't know if you ever went on to Bravely Second, either. Not to be confused with Bravely 2, of course. Nope, too slow. Yeah, Bravely 2 was one of those things that I just did not have time for earlier in the year, and then I just kind of forgot about it. But... Like I said, the time commitment of a JRPG is a little difficult for me nowadays. Like, that was the thing I found really interesting about playing Xenoblade Torna, actually, was that the kind of 20-hour pacing that it had. Okay, it only covered one continent, but it was still like a really full-fledged game, and it kind of made me miss when JRPGs could feel gigantic, but were actually incredibly succinct, in a way that something like Chrono Trigger, for instance, is, you know, about a 20-hour game, and but has so much packed into it moment to moment that it feels like it has much more distinctive content than a lot of other RPGs that are 3 or 4 times the length. And that, you know, it doesn't skimp on letting you really develop all of the different character builds to the fullest, and giving you enough time to play with all the tactical options that are available to you. Which I find is usually the problem with things running too short, is that, you know, you need time to actually play with the systems, right? Which is why I ended up spending, I think, about 100 hours on the original Bravely Default. Was that you could just spend so much time just programming the party and just playing around with scripting it. So yeah, the systems always need room to breathe, but sometimes it's definitely possible to squeeze that into a tighter package. Chrono Trigger is on your list. Oh, you are in for such a treat. You are in for such a treat if you like JRPGs, as you clearly do. Yeah, if you do stream it as one of the games that you're catching up on, I'll definitely try to drop by for that. Nope. Got hammered. Yeah, I'm aware that Octopath has a pretty significant secret boss. Obviously, I never got that far. I really enjoy the openness of the game, though. In terms of just being able to run around a map and challenge high-level areas whenever you wanted. And do things your own way. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Octopath is a game I'd like to get back into eventually, but as I said, one that I feel like I would have to start over. Because I'm just so far removed from whatever it was I was doing with my various character builds. And yeah, it's very easy to just kind of get locked into a particular set of 4 and neglect diversifying. Did you ever play... I mean, you must have played Final Fantasy VI, aka Final Fantasy III, right? I would assume, given your background going into this stuff, because, you know, in terms of that sort of multi-party setup that draws in your whole crew, that's always the reference point I'm thinking of. Oops. Yeah, in general, I really don't like a lot of the old-style JRPG random battles that just kind of ambush you out of nowhere. And I found that in Octopath I really didn't mind, because usually my problem with those is that they just interrupt you all over the place when you're trying to get from A to B. And of course, like with Bravely, you had the encounter slider that would just let you turn the thing off, and very often I would. Because, you know, I'm just trying to walk somewhere. I don't want to just get slapped with a totally different screen every couple of steps. But yeah, Octopath, I surprisingly didn't mind that at all, simply because I was usually wandering around to pick a fight anyway, so... Okay, there we go. There we go. Finally got that. Yeah, we can go for it here. Okay, this guy is going to be a bit of a concern, but that's okay. As is this guy. Well, no. Bit of an instinctive jump there. I loved Mario RPG the first time I played it. I found that every time I tried to return to it since, that the kind of isometric overworld segments have not aged well. That they are very clearly kind of a first attempt at that sort of thing. And it's with very good reason, I think, that none of the Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi games ever returned to that kind of isometric mode. Because that element of the game is something that turned out to be much less playable than I remembered. I can see why they attempted it, you know, with pseudo 3D being all the rage back in late Super Nintendo era, but whoops. You want to play Thousand Year Door? Thousand Year Door is magnificent. And it is my favorite. It has some claim to potentially be my favorite JRPG. Although it's different enough from, you know, a lot of standard JRPGs that to say so might not really be fair to the genre, but it is a magnificent game. Just one of those things that was like special in very idiosyncratic ways that may never be duplicated. And also very well worth the replaying for challenge runs as well, like self-imposed challenge runs, because it's very flexible for those purposes. Nope, having some trouble here. And yeah, I wouldn't worry about having been spoiled on its overall story. It's a lot of the individual particulars in Thousand Year Door that really make it. All the interactions packed into its chapter structure. All of the partner conversations that you'll never see on your first run because you're too busy with the small selection of party members you've gone with the first time around. Yeah, just an immensely charming game, and just very, very deep as well, mechanically speaking. I've been meaning to eventually catch up on Bug Fables, which seem to be where a lot of the more traditionalist Paper Mario artisans seem to have gone to. Because it was very explicitly an old-style Paper Mario tribute. There are far too many things to play. Yeah, I took a look at my wish list on Switch today because I was, I don't know, adding something or cleaning something out, and realistically, I will never play, you know, 80% of that list. And I'm fairly careful about wish listing stuff. I don't just add things out of any casual interest. Like, I add things that I do intend to keep an eye on for sales and such. But even so, there is far too much to play. And you just have to be realistic eventually about telling yourself, okay, you know, this game just isn't going to happen. Run full speed at the beginning to avoid the first Koopa. I'm not too concerned about the first Koopa. I know I've died to it a few times, but I appreciate the tip. I mean, you lose an attempt at the first Koopa, big deal. You're not actually that far in. Yeah, I just have to remember not to let myself get zoned out by the booze. Because definitely on that last failed attempt that was fairly deep in, I just neglected to control their position. Okay, this location here is where I'll try to go under the Koopa. Nope, not enough momentum. And yeah, Banner Saga, as I understand it, is actually in 3 parts, and I think it's still sold in 3 parts, even though it has been completed for years. Like, as 3 separate home screen icons and such. You would probably know that because I'm told that each part had a cliffhanger. No, I was aware of Banner Saga when it came out because Back then, I used to watch things around BioWare fairly closely, and I know there were various BioWare alumni who had worked on it. With an eye towards like trying to think about how to bring narrative into tactics games. I found with time, though, that I've somewhat surprisingly cared less and less about narrative in things like strategy games. That you know, I'm just much less attached to the whole ambition of trying to make them work as a narrative format than I used to. I think it surprises people sometimes to realize like how much of a sort of very mechanically oriented and not narratively focused player I am. But you know, you just sort of figure out over time like what actually keeps you invested in a video game. And I've just discovered with experience that when it looks like it's the story, it's not actually the story. It's usually something else that's been well contextualized that's keeping me interested. Oh, and it has progression carrying forward between episodes as well. Okay, I see. Maybe I should run past the first Koopa as advised. It's like, fine, we'll do it the easy way. And yeah, I've heard that Fire Emblem plus Oregon Trail comparison before, for sure. So, here's a little tidbit of trivia I picked up recently. So, Oregon Trail was originally kind of prototyped by 8th graders in this school project that they did for their class at the time. And if you look at the particular school that was involved and who was actually in the 8th grade there at the time, it's very plausible that one of the students who originally prototyped Oregon Trail was Prince. He was in the right place and the right time to have potentially been involved in some way with the Oregon Trail. And people found this out by like going through the yearbooks and such and realizing, wait a minute, these two historical events are in cosmic alignment. Okay, I got that Piranha Plant timing twice before, and that was the only way I made it past that previously. I don't think it's really working out for me. Now let's get over here. And you love Prince? Yeah, that's... I seem to have dropped that trivia on the right person then. I actually don't know Prince that well musically. And just one of those conspicuous gaps in my knowledge. Whoops. Okay, no, waiting for the red Koopa is not going to happen. I did on previous attempts just go directly past Red Koopa, but then on previous attempts I was also there faster because I went directly under the Piranha. And to think I nearly had to clear attempts so early on in this level. But like I said, that time I made it over to the Boo Ring was a little bit fluky. And yeah, insanely catchy artist, as you're saying. It's very true in my experience, it's just that my experience happens to be limited. But yeah, my knowledge of American popular music, as I was saying, drops off very, very sharply after about the mid-60s. Like, I know it in some ways really deeply, all the way up to the whole British invasion and the arrival of the Beatles. I know the Beatles very well. After that, things get hazy. You met Michael Jackson's kids, interesting. So do you have an opinion on the sort of long-standing conjecture that the dispute over the music rights that precluded, for the longest time, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 from being widely re-released was because Michael Jackson had purportedly worked on Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and there was some kind of IP hold-up with the Jackson estate? I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is being included in a classic Sonic re-release that's coming sometime within the next year. So whatever issues they had were sorted out, but for the longest time it was stuck in some kind of licensing limbo, where the going theory was that it had something at least tangentially to do with Michael Jackson, or perhaps one of the producers who worked with him. I mean, I don't know much about that either. I'm not a Sonic super fan or anything like that. But it was just one of those things that I heard commonly circulated enough that I thought it was worth looking into. It seems to be one of those folk legends about video games that people circulate, whether it's been corroborated or not. I didn't really like Sonic until Sonic Mania. And then I played Sonic Mania and I kind of clicked with the design finally. Like, I understood why I hadn't clicked with it previously. And I was able to engage with it in a more constructive way. Yeah, because I played Sonic Mania and then I'm really glad I took a chance on it because I didn't really like Sonic up to that point. And then I realized, okay, this is how this sort of level design works, and this is why this level design doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to a lot of Nintendo players, including myself. Okay, just going to try to block the spawn on this pipe. Whoa, okay. Getting closer. And yeah, that's the tension that a lot of people sort of identify about Sonic, is that it seems like there's often very little in between the slow platforming and the dashing and spinning everywhere that there doesn't seem to be like a sort of continuous spectrum of medium speed that allows you to get from one to the other. But yeah, the thing that took the longest to kind of click with me about Sonic was that you really do have to commit to the branching paths. Like, it doesn't have backtracking friendly exploration in a way that most Nintendo platformers do, for instance, and it's a very different school of thought entirely. And I realized I had to kind of approach it like Star Fox. Like, that was the epiphany. In the same way that, you know, Star Fox has this arcade style that makes you commit to the roads when you take a certain branch, even if you take it by accident. And then once I understood that, I was able to enjoy Sonic. So. Yeah, this will be the... unless the other fellow who missed a check-in earlier checks in and last. This will be the last thing I play today. I'm hoping I will beat it. Yeah, I know this is controversial among some people, but I actually really enjoyed Star Fox Zero. I had a great time with it. And yeah, it was much too strange a game to ever be an actual comeback for the series. It's very much an acquired taste. And it has, I think, probably the highest skill floor of any Miyamoto game in terms of what the initial learning curve is, but once you get it, it actually plays so well. And unfortunately, most players never got to the point where they were able to see that. Because so many people were put off by the controls right away. But yeah, I think it's a deeply underappreciated game. But it's one where you really have to kind of engage with the systems and get through the frustration of not understanding them. In order to eventually get to the point where you realize how responsive it actually is. And, you know, you occasionally have people saying, oh, why don't they just port Star Fox Zero, but do the same thing they did with Skyward Sword, where they put in an alternate non-motion control scheme or something like that. And they don't seem to realize that, like, if you take the weird controls and dual screen play and everything out of Star Fox Zero, it by itself wouldn't have that much to offer over, say, Star Fox 64. Like, it would be stripping out most of the stuff that is unique and special about the game. I actually think, and I had this discussion come up a little while ago, that out of any Nintendo property, Star Fox is the one that would benefit the most from experimenting with something like a roguelike format. Because it's built around branching paths and short arcade-style runs to begin with. I may have to pause for a moment. Okay, I may be needed for something shortly, so I will probably only be able to put in 1 or 2 more attempts. This is what happens when my stream gets to about the 4-hour mark. Is that sometimes things do come up. But I will hopefully get a clear on this, and if I don't, I'll have to attempt it again some other time. But yeah, I never had an issue with the motion controls in Skyward Sword either. But I find that I'm, in general, quite open to learning control schemes. Within reason. I mean, let's see here. In fact, since Advance Wars has been delayed, I might finally have some time to catch up on Skyward Sword HD. I haven't played it since the Wii original a decade ago. And yeah, I've enjoyed this one a lot. It's funny because I got that first attempt at a Boo Ring comparatively so early, and haven't been able to get anywhere close to it since. But yeah, a lot of variety from screen to screen in terms of the kinds of challenges you have to deal with. Get through this. And also a lot of situations where you need to sort of improvise your way out of trouble instead of depending on a single well-honed pattern. Partly because Desert Wind is one of those things that kind of makes you play reactively. It's very difficult to just have a 100% consistent series of inputs against it, so... But yeah, I've always liked long levels that have a series of challenges that are kind of medium hard, but which strung together are a big consistency check that you have to play smoother and smoother with time. And that kind of design I find is sort of undervalued by people who want like really tightly packaged pockets of high difficulty all the time. And while I enjoyed that as well, I find that that has in some ways become a little too dominant as a paradigm of difficulty design in the Mario Maker community specifically. So you almost added ice blocks. That might have been a little bit much, given that I think it was Glitch's Tetromino level earlier today where we found that wind and ice put together can be pretty tricky. And because then you always have to kind of deal with that slingshot release when the wind lets up. To an even greater extent than I'm doing already. Whoops. Here we are. But yeah, I'd love to get a clear on this one, even if I don't do it today. Nope, totally got zoned out there. Yeah, I'll try to make like one more really deep run, and then I may have to take off. Yeah, like I've been saying, going into November, I will likely have some revisions to my schedule. I'll probably be running earlier, at least slightly earlier, to better accommodate people who are in North America. But also due to some scheduling changes on my end, it's a little bit difficult for me to run as late as I often do. So... Whoa. Oh, you beat Glitch's Boss Rush Gunhead level, the one that's the multi-part one. Yeah, I got, I think, like 5th clear or something on that one a little while ago. It took some time for me to crack. But I did get it. I just needed a good long sitting with it to really make it through. I mean, I guess you had the benefit of being pretty well practiced with the cannon box yourself. But yeah, the back and forth switching room on that one was the one I found really punishing. In spite of the fact that the interaction there was symmetrical, it's just that the timing took a long time to get down in terms of finding pockets of safety. But yeah, once I got that room down, everything else fell pretty quickly. And it helped that I had originally played the full version of some of the bosses in their original standalone gunhead levels. Okay, there we go. Red Koopa next. You spent like 2 hours on it? Yeah, that's pretty much what I did as well. I think I spent more than that on that switching room I was talking about. I didn't struggle too much with the elevator. I mean, it is difficult, but it was one where I was able to find a pattern relatively quickly in terms of figuring out an intended series of locations to aim for. It gets pretty dicey near the end. I do remember that, but yeah, the switching room was the one that was absolute murder. And partly because it was difficult to predict sometimes if I was going to successfully hit the switch past all of the different moving elements that were going on at once. You know, things coming out of pipes and the blocks blinking on and off and all that. And you do have to predict your shot accurately in that room in order to land safely. So that's something that took a bit of time. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Yeah, maybe that you're good with leading shots. For me, it's more that, yeah, I found that, you know, even with the room being symmetrical, that doing everything as a mirror image was surprisingly challenging. But mostly the issue I had was correctly reading if my shot was going to land. Okay, there we go. This bit's going better. Oh, nope. Let's zone out this boo. Yeah, I need to keep some of the boos controlled for long enough that hopefully they get out of camera range. Just get out of my way. Yeah, because I was just being tailed by too many boos earlier. Oop. This was not to run. It looked very much like it might be to run. Things were going quite smoothly. Yeah, very well-targeted hammer there, that's for sure. I was spending all that time being cautious about that fireball that was tailing me on the left side. And the hammer was pretty precisely placed to cause trouble with that. Hardest part is the 2 Koopas? Maybe. I mean, I've died to that a fair amount, but it's one of those things that looks so obviously hard that I feel like I'm being extra cautious around it. But yeah, the fact that you need a little bit of momentum to sneak under the Koopas is something that does throw me off. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here's that Koopa. Nope. Smacked right in the face. And yeah, just going to see if we can get this together all the right ways. Feels like at least after the 2 Koopa segment, I have a better method for dealing with the piranha now. Okay, there we go. Like right here. Now I just need to hug the pipes closely enough to block the piranha spawn for a bit. Once again, I'm going to try to control some of the boos. This guy's going to try to get the drop on me, I'm sure, yeah. Yeah, I let boos chase me for far too long on earlier attempts. And it's nice to not deal with them quite as much. Here's the boo ring. Oh, next cycle, next cycle. Nope. Okay, good, the camera stops. I can take my time with this. Until the wind picks up. There we go. I was a bit worried there because I didn't, of course, see the goal pole on the previous attempt that got me to the boo ring, so I didn't know if the scroll boundary was going to kill me there. As you can see, I did lose a considerable amount of time just doing the ending, and I don't care because we got the clear. The concept of this level is escaping your past which chases you. Did the past that you're escaping involve reading the Splatoon manga? I think I also raised the clear rate, which is astonishing. But I guess the attempts individually were quite long, so... Thank you so much for the cheers, and especially for the level. Like I said, I pretty much do have to go, but let me just do one final check. Thank you for all the GGs as well. Yeah, because I guess NSM never did sign in. That's okay. That will be today's queue then, and I will scan around fairly shortly to see if we can forward you folks anywhere particularly interesting. So, thank you once again to everybody who submitted today. I know I took way too long per level individually and didn't even necessarily get the clears, but we did what we could, so. You only put that in the description because streamers always react to it. Yeah, well, mission accomplished. So thank you once again, everybody, for watching and for your patience, especially if you were submitting. And I will see who is online. Give me one moment. We'll scan around. And as always, I'll likely be back for more tomorrow. And in the meantime, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Happy making and playing and whatever else it is you're doing. And fare thee well.